Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a first impressions and wear test of the new Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Skin Blurring Tint. Blurring Skin Tint, I'll never get this correct. Anyway, this is the package right here. I have mine in the shade 7. It's supposed to be light to medium coverage. It's supposed to be skin perfecting, and we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. I will be able to do about an 8 to 9 hour wear test today, so we'll be able to see how it goes. I'll probably spend a little bit of time outside. I will be wearing a mask for most of that, so I'll try to check in halfway through the day so we can see sort of the midpoint of mask wearing for that. It is 1.8 fluid ounces, which is a little bit more than a standard foundation, so that's nice since it is a thinner formula, and it retails for about $29.50. So those are the details. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm having the hardest time being awake today, but here we go. So this is the Fenty Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. I got mine in the shade 7, so we'll see. It was labeled as like light, medium, neutral, warm. Okay. So this is the little bottle, pretty cute. I'm going to do half of my face with a brush and half with a sponge just to compare the two methods for this, because I know it is supposed to be thinner, more of a skin tint, and so usually those have lighter coverage, and sometimes a sponge really just completely shears it out. So we're going to play with that and see what happens. It's definitely, you know, a thinner consistency, which we expected. So I'm going to do some stupid stuff, but I'm going to put this on the back of my hand and then just sort of dab it where I want it to go. I may have put too much up, but that's fine. Okay. All right, so let's start with the sponge on this side. And my skin is prepped and moisturized, but I didn't put any primer down today. Yeah, the sponge, like I thought, just kind of sheared it out real quick. So now we're gonna try a brush on this side, just see what happens. So the shade was labeled neutral warm, and I don't know why neutral warm is peach. I just don't. Okay. Huh. I hate this so far. That's just how life is today, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna put some more down and see what happens. I'm gonna kind of rub it in with my fingers and see. Did that help? No. This looks awful. Maybe not awful. So like I said, my skin is moisturized and everything, but it still is just kind of looking really dry on my skin. My skin is dry, but like, no, it shouldn't be super dry right now with the skin prep and stuff. Part of me wants to take it off and start over, and part of me doesn't have the energy. Just for the sake of seeing how it builds and what it does on my skin, I'm gonna put one more layer on this side. I think I did get like the best result using my hands. And you can, okay. The shade is probably about as good as it was gonna get in that range, but I don't like it. Okay, so this is more or less a side with and a side without, since this side got sheared out so quickly. I don't know if I really see like maybe, I guess there is some blurring in here compared to here. But it really is, I mean, I know it's a skin tint, but dang. Okay, let's go in with some more. I'm gonna use a denser brush and see if that helps a little bit too. Okay, it kind of looks like this brush did a better job than the sponge or the other brush, the one that was slightly less dense. This one is the Sephora 56. I believe they've changed their brushes a little bit since I bought this one, but I think this shape is still available. It's looking a little better. I don't like the way that it looks on my nose, but my nose is definitely my problem area. Stuff just really, really likes to separate on my nose. All right. It's a little bit tacky, which I was kind of not expecting, if I'm being really honest, because it does kind of emphasize that my skin is sort of dry, so I thought that maybe at the very least it dried down pretty quickly. But it is, I mean, it's not been a long time, obviously, but it is still pretty tacky to the touch. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup and then come back and show you the finished look and then talk about anything else that came up. Okay, here's the finished look. I used the Salt New York cream tints on my cheeks. So that is my bronzer, blush, and highlight. I used those because they're about to release a new shade, so it kind of reminded me of the ones that I already have and wanted to use. And what else did I use? My eyes are Terra Moons Cosmetics. I just got some of their newer singles in the mail yesterday, so I used those along with some of the mattes that they released last fall, but my main lid shade and up here are two of the newer shades. They are gorgeous. I will leave the shade names down below because I can't remember them off the top of my head. On my lips is a lime crime thing that I have. So it is 8:20 right now, so that's finished makeup, all of that, and I didn't powder because it was already looking kind of dry, so I didn't think that was the right thing to do. So it's still a little tacky to the touch. I will be going to work today, which means I will be wearing a mask most of the day. I will try to check in at around noon to 1. So you can see what it looks like then, and then I'll check in again at the end of my work day, so that'll be about 8 to 9 hours from now, and I'll show you how it holds up and how it settles into my skin, and hopefully it kind of settles a little bit better. You can still see that my nose is sort of a mess, but that's also a symptom of my nose, not so much just the foundation. The sun is right here right now, so I'm going to take that as my cue to go, and I will see you later. All right, so it is 2:30, so that means I've had this on for about 6 hours. I was wearing a mask the whole time, except to snack a little in the middle. So you can see where like my blush wore off because of my mask. That's pretty typical. That's nothing's fault. And on my chin, so normal. But my forehead, I think, looks really good. So, and even my nose, like it rubbed off a little there, but here it doesn't, I think, look as separatey as it did this morning. So I definitely think that the Fenty settles into the skin really well. But for me, it was just that initial application felt kind of dry, but now my skin actually does feel nice. Like it doesn't feel gross on my skin. My skin doesn't feel dry or anything. So we're doing pretty good, and I will do one more check-in tonight at some point, maybe around the 8 to 9 hour mark, but it all depends on whether or not I remember to do it, so we'll see. Okay, so it is that cat in the back is biting my ankle. It is 5:30 and it's the end of my work day and I kind of want to take a nap. So I figured I would do my final check-in before I nap. I do think that the foundation looks better on my skin now than it did at the beginning of the day, for sure. So in the spots where it kind of felt dry, it doesn't look dry, it just sort of looks like skin now. And then it definitely, wore off under my mask, which I was expecting, and I can't really fault it for that. That's not anything about what it claims to do. But you can see, like, right here, it got maybe even a little more shiny, so that's good to know. But it did last fairly well throughout the day, so that is, I mean, it's good that it did so good. And where it faded pretty gracefully. I mean, my blush didn't, but that's... who knows? That could be the foundation. That could be the blush. This cat. She knows when I'm trying to nap. And she ruins my naps. Like, she gets... she gets feisty. And it's only when I'm trying to relax. I don't know why she's like this. Anyway, that's it. I'm either going to play with this cat or I'm going to nap. I'm not sure.